Welcome to the Ethan Live podcast. It is Monday, August 11th again. For all you folks that are tuning in quite a bit, we have some good court updates coming soon. A couple folks with some sentencing dates and some sentences. A couple updates for Jefferson County. So stay tuned for that later this week. But we want to jump back into our Hero Dog semifinalist series. Hero Dog Awards voting is now open. Go to AmericanHumane.org. Voting is open until September the 15th. You can vote once a day, but vote once in each category. There are 5 categories. Make sure you vote. You cast 5 votes before you get off of that page. And so now we are very happy to be joined by Service Dog semifinalist Justice and her person, Mike, and Mike, your wife, Michelle. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, how you guys doing? You're down in like Central Florida somewhere?
By Tampa.
Tampa, yeah. Very, very cool. So tell us, before we jump into like this story with Justice, tell us a little bit about, Mike, tell us a little bit about your background and your journey and what led you to Justice and a Service Dog.
Yeah, I was Air Force for 10 years. I had multiple deployments to the Middle East, Desert Storm, and after that I transitioned into civilian law enforcement, and I spent the better part of 25 years in law enforcement. And 7 years ago I had to medically retire, and that's kind of when the wheels fell off the wagon, because when you're working, I don't really have time to process things that I was part of,
right,
that I was involved in. So it's just kind of getting buried in like a file cabinet. And then when my medical retirement came through and everything just came to a screeching halt, it was like, everything just spilled out onto my lap for the past 35 years of things that I was involved in between the military and law enforcement. And it sent me into a dark place. I didn't leave the house. I shut down from friends, family. We didn't do anything. The only time I really left the house was for doctor's appointments. When I did go out, my hypervigilance was kind of off the charts, so I didn't really enjoy going out. I mean, I had season tickets to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I gave those up because of it, because I couldn't do crowds anymore.
Go out. Mm-hmm.
And my wife here, she's smarter than I am, and she encouraged me to go to the VA, and I went up there and they diagnosed me with PTSD, major depressive disorder, and major anxiety disorder. And, I started getting prescribed meds, which is, that's typical with the VA prescribing meds. But then I started doing some group counseling, and that's when I seen my first vet with a service dog. And I was watching the bond that they had, especially like when we were having discussions and that handler was starting to get too emotional. I watched how his service dog kind of grounded him, brought him back to a safe place, where he was. And so that's when I went home and started doing my own research about service dog programs, and I came across the Pups for Patriots program.
That's very cool. And so when you were out, you're talking about your hypervigilance. Was your mind just constantly racing as you saw, like just focusing on different things, whether that was a threat or not a threat, and just constantly trying to evaluate people?
Yeah, I mean, it's typical with military people and even law enforcement. We always have to have our backs to a wall. We always have to know where all the exits are.
Yeah.
I don't like anybody in my personal space. More than an arm's length is comfortable for me. And being in crowds, like I said, the hockey, I just couldn't do it anymore. And it got to be like a burden, because
definitely.
Go out for dinner and I'm not focused on anything other than watching what's going on around me. Even my peripheral vision, if I see something move, I'm going to be laser focused on that. And it was distracting.
Well, it was affecting every part of your life. I mean,
well, yeah. And my family life.
Yeah, exactly.
And I started to feel like a burden to everybody, and that's why I got to that point where I was in that dark spot where I contemplated committing suicide. I mean, it got to that point, I felt like I couldn't go any lower.
Yeah, that burden was getting very heavy, wasn't it?
Well, it's 35 years of military and law enforcement takes a toll on you. And everybody talks about PTSD in military, but law enforcement and first responders, the PTSD, the stigma that goes with it, because it happens while you're working, and there's not a whole lot of options as far as getting treatment while you're still working, because if you bring it up, they'll put you on a desk, and most cops and stuff don't want to ride a desk. They want to be out in the field.
Yeah.
So they just kind of swallow it
and go
so
on. Best you can. Yeah.
something has to break eventually. And it broke for me because I had to medically retire 5 years before I was due for retirement.
Wow.
And that was just because things were just getting too hard to sort of to handle. I know as all those years go by, it's just you kind of keep pushing that stuff back, and because it's something you're right in the middle of it at that time, and so it doesn't all come up. And so there was a time about 5 years before retirement that you just thought this was it, like this is what I need to get out now.
Well, I didn't have a choice. I mean, they medically retired me because I developed, it was called essential tremors.
Okay.
And it was starting to impact my ability to carry my weapons and things like that. So it was either retire or, they didn't really give me a whole lot of choices.
Right.
Yeah.
Before you went to the therapy and you saw the person there with the service dog, did you have any animals of your own at that time? Did you have any dogs?
Oh yeah. We still have 2 other dogs here.
Did you have any knowledge of service dogs before seeing that dog, or just?
No, not really. I mean,
Okay.
I worked around, the military working
Military.
dogs and law enforcement dogs. And,
Uh-huh.
I always seen the bond that those created.
Yeah.
But as far as service dogs for, I mean, you see people like with the guide dogs for blind people like
right.
that. And you'll see them in shopping malls and stuff. But I never really had a close encounter with one until that vet.
So you started doing some research on service dogs, and you came across American Humane and Pups for Patriots. And what made you sort of kind of dive a little bit deeper into that and contact them?
Well, I mean, American Humane's got a long history of animal welfare and programs that they're part of, worldwide. And there's a lot of sketchy companies out there that do the service dogs for veterans, and they ask for money up front, and the Pups for Patriots program, it's no money to the veteran out of the veteran's pocket, and they have a very streamlined application process. It's just a matter of a couple of forms to fill out with the VA doctor, and they come do a home visit and some interviews over the phone and such. And it just made it really easy to get that, because that's the problem with a lot of veterans is that, there's a lot of guys that could benefit from the service dogs, but they don't want to jump through the hoops.
Yeah.
And, and American Humane has streamlined
eliminated some of the hoops. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've made it as streamlined as possible. Now, I had one hitch was my psychiatrist refused to sign the paperwork initially. He said he didn't believe that service dogs could benefit my PTSD. And so we had a heated discussion, and I wasn't leaving there until he signed it, because I told him, there's, even whether, that's your opinion, there's nothing that she's going to do that's going to be detrimental to my PTSD.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to make it any worse.
So why not try? Yeah.
Yeah. So, so just sign the form. You can keep your beliefs to yourself.
Right.
Fortunately, he's retired out of that VA, so don't have to worry about it affecting any other vets. But, it could be happening to other vets around the country.
Right.
How they match you with justice?
Well, that's the thing about Pups for Patriots. They get a feel for your physical activity, your if you have physical limitations, your activity level and all that. And it was great when I met her for the first time, because it was me and another veteran, and the other veteran, he had a lot of back issues, so he wasn't very mobile. And the dog that they put him with was a big, hefty gold or yellow lab. And his dog came lumbering out of the kennel, nice and peaceful like. And when I met Justice, he was like a whirling dervish in her kennel, spinning it around. And right away, I knew it was going to be it was going to be the bond with me, because it put that spark back in me, and I had to step up my game to keep up with her.
Right.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's good.
And when that vest goes on her, it's like a light switch. She's all puppy at home, running around, swimming in the pool and that. when that vest goes on, it's just like a uniform that I used to wear. She's laser focused on her tasks.
Huh.
But how long did that process take?
From the time I applied until the time they called me saying they had a dog for me, it was probably 2, maybe 3 months at the most.
Oh.
I don't know what the wait list is now. I mean, I got her right before COVID shut everything down. We got paired on Valentine's Day in 2020.
I mean, she's about 7 years old or so.
Yeah, she's 7. We've been partners now for 5 years.
Oh,
Wow.
that's very cool. Have you seen her lose any of her puppy energy yet, or she's still back?
Not at all. Not at all. We have one of our dogs is a Australian Shepherd puppy that's only 2 years old. That's still pretty hyper.
Yeah.
Gives her a run for her money.
Right.
Because I have a big backyard. Besides the pool, I have a big backyard, and they chase each other around the yard and in the pool and out of the pool, around the house. But when it's time to go to work, like I said, that vest goes on her. She's a different dog. It's the switch goes on, and she's focused.
That's amazing.
It's very cool. We wanted to have you had mentioned having your wife on to tell us a little bit about one of the most difficult times and how justice helped you. And I thought it was really important to hear her story and talk about what justice does for you and allows you to do.
When he first started getting so depressed that he would not leave the house and stuff, he's right. It was a completely different man than what we've been married 42 years.
Oh,
bless you.
So
since high school. We've been together since high school.
Since high school.
Oh, yeah. The high school sweetheart story. Love it.
Yeah. So I've been with him through everything.
Uh-huh.
And so when he was made to medically retire, I saw a completely different man. And it was like, okay, but you've got to snap out of this. You can't continue to just sit at home and do nothing. I mean, he used to go out golfing. He used to go out fishing. He used to do all these
scuba diving.
Oh. Yeah. He used to do all these other things, and all of a sudden all he wanted to do was sit home. And I'm like, babe, you can't keep doing this. Yeah. And that's why, number one, I sent him to the VA. I said, you have to go to the VA. You've got to go do something. You can't continue to just sit on the couch.
Yeah.
And then when he started talking about looking for a dog, I said, okay, go do that. Start, take some of your life back. You have to do this. You can't continue to just be so inside of your head. Mm-hmm. And then when he got justice, it was like justice just kind of slowly brought him out of his shell again. And with justice, I mean, we went on a cruise that I never thought we would be able to do again. We went to Alaska. We've started being able to go and do stuff that I didn't think we would be. I mean, he's not 100% the man that I married again, but he's getting there. He's gone, like I said, he started to help speaking with the American Humane Society and going and talking about the Pups for Patriots. And I go and help as much as I can. I mean, I work full time, so I can't always go with him.
Yeah.
But if I have the availability, I go too. But
it's good for her to give her perspective to other veterans and spouses, so they can, because I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of single veterans out there that they don't have that family support.
Yeah,
and that's they go into a really bad spot, because that's when they start turning to drugs and alcohol, and it just takes them deeper and deeper into that pit, and it makes it that much harder to get out. If they don't have that family support. And that was a big thing here, is that we have that family support.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the luckier ones that did have the family support.
And that's why anytime they ask me to do any kind of speaking engagements, where I can pay it forward, if we can put leashes into the veterans' hands, that's one less veteran that becomes that 22 a day statistic.
Yeah.
And the other thing about justice, and service dogs in general with the veterans, is that there's been studies that show that veterans with service dogs tend to be on lower dosages of medicine, and I'm on the lowest dosage of my meds, which I'm not a big fan of taking meds to begin with.
Right.
So, it's a big benefit to me by having her and not having to rely on the meds.
As
'Cause
much
the meds
medicine.
are Band-Aid, and they just make me feel like a zombie taking
Yeah.
these antidepressants and things like that.
Right.
And I might not have been around. We have a 4-year-old granddaughter now that I might, if I made that fatal mistake of taking my life, I wouldn't have got to watch her growing up. And we just found out my other son we're expecting another
Oh,
grandchild. So
congratulations.
I might not have been around for that if I would have gone down that
That rabbit.
spot.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's
so we heard, Michelle was telling us her perspective, and she's known you as long as anyone, and could see what was going on with you. So, tell us what, like, Justice comes into your life, and tell us what she means to you, and what she allows you to do, and what she does for your life now.
Well, like I said, when I first met her, I knew the bond was meant to be just by how active she was, and I was always on the go until that medical retirement took me away. And now, like Michelle said, we're traveling again. We just got back from another cruise. We're going to St. Lucia next year.
that's a good place.
I'm back in the gym. I've lost almost 50 pounds since last February.
Oh, wow.
So I'm back down to almost my military weight, which is, I got out of the military in 95. So to go back to my military weight I'm 61 years old now. So
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling really good. And my energy level is back up, and Justice and I take hikes in the local state parks and stuff like that. And I'm planning on doing some camping trips, just her and I. And it just got me back into. It's given me a second chance at living a fulfilling life, especially in retirement. People look forward to that retirement. Had she not come around, my retirement might have been, it might not have been a retirement. It might have been a funeral.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
Right.
and the thing that Justice wasn't even trained. Mike has a lot of nightmares and stuff, and Justice wakes him up before he even starts having his nightmares.
Yeah,
Oh.
it wasn't one of the tasks that she was trained on, but because of our bond, and that's a funny story, because when she first came home, Michelle and I would sleep in the bed, and Justice would sleep between us, and Justice wouldn't let Michelle near me. She kept pushing her out of the bed.
She did.
So we have a spare bedroom. So now Justice and I sleep separately in another bedroom.
Because Justice just pushed me out of the bed every time.
You just, yeah. Put you in your place, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, basically.
Well, and it wasn't fair to Michelle, because, when I had
Right.
nightmares, I would wake up
Yeah.
violently and things like that. And she had to get up for work at 5 a.m. So
Right.
it's just as well for Justice and I to be in our own bedroom where she can wake me up and it doesn't wake up the rest of the house.
Isn't that amazing how in tuned they can become, though, to your needs?
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Well, and there's times where I go out without her, if I'm going to the shooting range or something like that, where it's not safe for her because of noise.
Yeah.
We both have separation anxiety. If like Michelle's home and I leave her here, she'll start howling and stuff, and
she gets upset because he's gone.
That's very cute. Pups for Patriots was something that I didn't know anything about until our involvement with Hero Dog Awards, and then came down after Hero Dog Awards in 2022. We came back to West Palm in early 2023 for a Pups for Patriots fundraiser down in West Palm, and it's just amazing work that they're doing, and it's wonderful for veterans. I love the work that American Humane does with veterans and service dogs. And it's great that they've got you involved to be able to tell your story, so other people can hear that. I think that's really important for other veterans to hear, because sometimes I'm sure that they can feel like they're out there by themselves, and sometimes they just don't know where to go to get the help that they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Justice and I just got back from Maryland. We did a speaking engagement at a VA Health Summit, which was it wasn't veterans. It was, well, I mean, there probably were veterans there, but this was vendors and people that work at the VA facility.
Oh.
and
Okay.
they did a segment on service dogs. Amy Wren from American Humane
Mhm.
was the spokesperson there and they asked me to come in and share my story like I shared with you, and took questions and stuff. There was a lot of people that, again, just like me, you don't know a lot about service dogs until you hear about them,
Right.
and it's more impactful to see the veteran and the dog rather than just hear about it. Just like
Yes.
when you're asking for donations for the program, it's more impactful. I can tell people, hey, give me $40,000, we'll put a service dog with a veteran. You can ask people all day long about that, but when they actually see the impact that the dog has on that veteran, it just makes it that much more powerful to
Uh-huh.
do those things. And Justice and I are actually going to Texas, I think, in September, to an Army base, and we're going to be speaking there at a Suicide Prevention Month.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's really.
That's very cool that you guys are out doing that. How did did you hear about Hero Dog Awards through American Humane and Pups for Patriots?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on their Facebook page and their Instagram. I seen it pop up, and I took the chance. I did it last year, and she was a semifinalist last year too. And the one that actually won for her category was Samson, and that
Yeah.
dog had an incredible bio.
Yeah.
And had like 75,000 followers on Instagram, and so it is what it is. I mean, she's my hero whether she wins or not.
She is,
I,
yeah.
I
Well,
Oh, definitely.
and as you people hear me say on these podcasts all the time, and as your involvement with American Humane, I'm sure you hear Dr. Robbins say heroes on both ends of the leash. And so she's a hero, but you're a hero too. I mean, thank you so much for your service,
Yeah.
to the military, but also to the police when you came back, from your armed services.
and that's what sets Pups for Patriots apart, because as far as I know, they're the only organization that has started branching out and putting service dogs with first responders.
Hmm.
I don't know of any other
Wow.
service dog program out there
That
that
does that.
putting
Yeah.
dogs with first responders.
Well,
And
and it's so
that's near and dear to me. That's why I like doing these speaking engagements and bringing that fact out.
well, and you're bringing the conversation up that it's okay to talk about PTSD, that people need to talk about it and reach for help. So you're bringing more awareness to, the other um, things that are out there that they can reach for help. So,
Yeah, I mean nobody really talks about the
right.
PTSD within the first responders community, and you got
Exactly.
EMS people, firefighters, law enforcement,
Nurses,
nurses in the ER,
doctors.
There's right, right.
and like if you have a busy day in the ER, you might have a bunch of traumatic incidents, and you don't have time to process it. Just like when I was working in law enforcement, I might have multiple traumatic things that I was part of in one shift, and you don't have time to decompress, and
Before
you
the next.
don't come home and share it with your family. It's not fair to share what you've seen with your family. They don't need to hear it. I mean, you turn on the TV, you can see that stuff
Yeah.
all day long. So
But if it stays inside, then it's going to do damage. So it's got to come out sometime. So,
eventually something's going to break, and it broke with
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it broke sooner than I was expecting, but it took a toll on me and my family.
Yeah.
And thankfully, you reached out and got the help. So that's the happy part of the story.
And dogs are just so, I mean, dogs are so much smarter than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
And they get so in tuned. And so, Justice comes into your life and does certain tasks and then is able to pick up these other ones, like, being able to detect these nightmares and different things. They're dogs are just so smart and in this case, really help you give your life back. And it lets
Yeah.
you experience all these things that had you made a different decision, you wouldn't be here to experience.
Yep. Unfortunately, they're not here long enough for us. I mean, that's the hardest part is when you have to say goodbye to
to
a
an
companion.
animal.
Yeah,
we've
that's
had
very
to-
tough. Yeah. So she's got.
Unfortunately, we've had to put a couple down that we don't.
We had a couple dogs that had cancer that we had to put down way before, and that's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. They're family. It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's
Yeah.
got she has some other siblings, and when she takes that vest off, tell us a little bit about her fun little personality at home with her siblings and how much she likes to play around.
Well, as soon as we come home from work, when she's done working and we get home, she gets a really, really bad case of the zoomies. And anybody that has a lab knows what the zoomies are.
Yeah.
She'll spin around, she'll jump on the couch, off the couch, on the couch, off the couch, run around in circles, and she just, like a Tasmanian devil when she's done working. And she tires herself out. She'll run around the yard a few times and then she'll come in here and just kind of crash and go to sleep.
Well, she's very chill right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
this is
sitting
our
here rubbing her ears.
this is bedtime. We're getting close to bedtime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's having a good.
She's so
She's having a
funny.
good time, yeah.
She snores like a champ too.
Oh, really? A snorer. That's another reason to sleep in the other room, Michelle.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Her snoring devolves into howling and growling.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, and I'm sure it was very cool. Last year she was a semifinalist, so she got her story out there last year. More opportunity to get her story out this year. I mean, how exciting was it to get that email to say, hey, Justice is a semifinalist, and there's just more opportunity to get that story about service dogs and PTSD out there.
Well, and that's what it's all about. Like I said,
Yeah.
she's my hero. She'll always be my hero, whether she wins the overall category or not.
Of course.
But everybody's got an incredible story to share, and but she'll be my hero today, tomorrow, when this is over with.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is paying it forward and trying to get other veterans get leashes into their hands and take that 22 a day down to nothing. It shouldn't happen in this country where we're still losing veterans and first responders. I mean, my old agency, we've had 2 officers commit suicide in the last 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
One did it in his patrol car. He just was behind the courthouse and just took his life in his patrol car.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with that?
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
whether this whole hero dog thing is it's a big deal, but to me, helping get the word out and getting the dogs into the right people's hands and making a difference in their life means everything.
Yeah,
Right.
Means everything.
Yeah,
It's more than
that's what it's all about. Yeah, it was created to to bring awareness and highlight some things about what some really cool dogs are doing, but really what it has created is a whole community of awareness and of what some really cool dogs are doing, whether they're service dogs or military dogs or police dogs or shelter dogs. I mean, there are just some amazing people and some amazing dogs around this country that are doing some really cool things, and you getting out there to speak with some of these folks, first responders and military, about PTSD and service dogs is fantastic, and I hope people really really listen to that story and really take it to heart.
And I've got nothing but positive feedback. When I've had people after I'm done at a speaking engagement come up to me and they want to know more.
Uh-huh.
They thank me for sharing my story because it's not an easy story to share.
No.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. It's fantastic. And we're is there any place, do you guys have social media that people can follow or see where you guys are going to be or what Justice is up to?
Justice has her own Instagram page. It's justice.the.servicedog.
Yeah,
Oh,
so,
okay.
so everyone go to
Dog on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Oh yeah, and I'm sorry about that. I've been so wrapped up in your story that I've got these
I
pictures I want to
know.
show too while we're here. I don't want to forget to show these really really cool pictures.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how she always sits with her or lays down with her
with her
paws.
paws crossed. Quite the lady.
Yes, she is.
And here she is at.
That was at a Tampa Bay football game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Something that I wouldn't have done without her.
Huh.
That's very very cool. Here we got this one here.
Oh, wow.
That was at a golfing event.
So very cute. We got.
Oh,
We were on a hike up in Georgia there.
It's a good picture right there.
yeah, it is. Just the bond between you two.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
looks.
she's always rocking that smile when she's
Yeah,
working.
she looks
Yeah.
very happy and very proud.
Oh, now we're in the pool. Now we got.
Every day at lunchtime, as soon as I'm done with my lunch, she's makes a beeline out the door and she makes a flying jump into the pool.
Oh.
And she'll stay in there until I make her get out.
That's so much fun. Dogs that like the water. I've always liked that.
Yeah, I actually have a video. I put on a GoPro on her back, and I caught her jump
Oh.
where she's going under the water, and the camera actually goes underwater with her.
Oh, that's cool. What a cool idea. Neat. Huh.
Yeah, that's very very cool. So voting is open now until September the 15th at AmericanHumane.org. You can vote once a day in each category. Make sure you vote in each category. Read the story.
Oh,
Some incredible dogs and some incredible people doing some wonderful things. And Mike, I appreciate you all coming on and telling your story. And it's like you say, it's not an easy story to tell, especially when you start, getting very retrospective into your life. That can be very difficult to do. So, thanks for doing that at other public things and
yeah.
coming on and talking to us about you and justice.
We appreciate you inviting us.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you for
So,
your service
yeah,
again.
and thank you very much for your service. And everyone, go to AmericanHumane.org. Vote once a day. Vote once in each category till September the 15th, and read these service dog stories and find one that's close to your heart and make sure that you vote for it. And Mike and Michelle, thank you all so much. And
Thank you
tell
all.
tell
Have
Justice
a good
thank you too. You guys have a good night.
You too.
There she
Bye.
is.
Oh, there
There
she
she is.
is.
Yeah, let's
She's
get
gonna.
her in there.
Oh,
There
Good
she
night.
is. Get her in there.
she's a beauty.
She is. Yeah,
Oh.
Yes.
she's one.